Does that pop up here? Like, let me see. Okay, it does pop up here. And then I do pop out, and then I do copy, and then I do this, and then I do yabba dabba do, and then docs, and then stream chat. Nope, not what I want to do. Ugh. Nope. Okay, this is so stupid. I have to do it every single time. Like, apply, close, docs, stream, refresh. All right, there we go. We set it up. We set it up. We're cooking. We're cooking. We're cooking. Let's just make it more coaching for save. There you go. Alrighty. So let me see. You're in Gambit Clagger. That's cringe. Are you on? Oh my god, this guy played the roster. I mean, not really. I mean, I do think. I mean, you guys win, but like your comp is not ideal. Their healing was so low. Were they on like solo heals? At some point? Oh shit. Is this you? Yeah, okay. So far so good. That anti-heal, like, realistically, right? It's just one Angela. Also, when somebody's grabbed by Rogue, you can't apply debuffs to them. You can't hit them. They're untargetable. No, they're untargetable. So if you see, look, right, the anti-heal doesn't apply because she's still in the grab animation technically, and like anti-healing Angie there, who can easily just dash out and has a shield, is not ideal. You probably want to save the cooldown to anti-heal this and try and force slams when somebody engages in the backline. I don't know why Rogue grabbed the Angie though. Like, yeah, she immediately goes for it while her shift is active and her E is up. So like, that's a misplay on this guy's part, but like whatever. So yeah, like you this is like game knowledge. You're a little bit forward facing, and you're not trying to poke because both of your tanks, like for example, this guy is your off tank. Like he holds down main, he holds down space, right? That is his job. So like you kind of want to be in a position to either assist her on an off angle while she's creating space, or be in position to like not get pushed back behind him. So like in this scenario, show you in a second. So this is why your positioning is kind of awkward, right? Because you are hugging this corner, right? However, this is relatively open space. See, this is the issue with the third person. You hug your left corner, right, which breaks this LOS, right? However, hugging this corner breaks their LOS. Look how much of the card is. Look how safe your cloak and dagger is because she's in this corner. Look how wide I need to go to actually be able to shoot at her as a DPS. And their Bucky is shooting here because you are on the open angle, right? So that's why you can't just like, this is my left side cover, I'm gonna go here, because if I look at this, I mean, it is good cover. Like, let's say Loki, right? He's covering here, but I do have, look how wide of an angle I have to actually see him from. Meanwhile, this angle is a safer one until you get to this bus, and then that's the safer angle. So, like, you hugging right side of card here, or like from this angle right side, is actually not good because this is the actual line of sight blocking area, right? Like, look how, like, you can't off angle to poke here, but if I was over here, right, I can still off angle, disengage, disengage part 2, disengage part 3, and be in bunker with my supports, and I can pressure you from this angle and this angle, right? So like it's better to play this side of card overall, right? Because not only you're blocking this entire side, and you force them to play from here. At which point you play this. Like, there's like there needs to be like a way for me to like. Can I like? Oh, I need an app for this. Okay. We're making a break here. Paint over screen app. PC. Epic Pen. By drawing directly on screen. Download now. Pen eraser highlighter. Perfect. Download for Windows. Let's see if this works, because if this works, this is good. Because if I can just write here, I can actually like teach so much better. Okay. Because yeah, I can actually like draw. That would be really useful. On screen without taking any screenshots and shit. Oh, load up. Okay, enter your activation code. Try for free. Oh, it's free for 14 days. Oh, that sucks. Finish. Okay, hold up. I have it. Perfect. I can actually do the draws. It doesn't, and then do this. Okay, perfect. Is this visual on stream? No, it's not. It's a separate overlay. Hold up, and then I can here. Do this, and then this. Sorry, I'm taking a lot of time out of you. Lovely. Media source, maybe? Local file? No, it's not media source. Like, what would be the proper, like, it would just be an app that does something to the screen. Oh, you know what's not working? I know why it's not working. Hold up. Hold up. I got this. Display capture. Okay. And then this, and then okay. And then this. Now I need to turn this. Wait, why is it like now overlapping the other stuff? Media source. It's like, why is this not? Oh, like I need display. Okay. That works. All right, I got it fixed. Right. Where were we? Right. True. So like, yeah. So like, what I'm saying is, right. Like, look at this. The bet. This is the thing you do. If you if you're in this position, right, and you force the enemies to go into this angle, right, in order to shoot from you, and while you're on this side of cart, your entire team has full vision of them, and then you're easily gonna pressure them to start falling back. You get what I mean? Right. So like that's the point. If you are split up like this, right? If you're split up like this, right? You're not. Where is she? I can't hear her. Is she in voice chat? It's so quiet. Hello, Ari. Oh, okay. So basically, what I'm saying is like this way, right? The enemies can actually use this natural cover and still create pressure from this like if I go up a little bit, right? If they are from the if we have like this angle, right? Your positioning here basically allows them to sit around this choke and pressure down main from here. However, if all of you are here, it kind of forces them to play from this side of the bunker in order to actually create that pressure. You know what I mean? Also, this drawing is no longer working, which makes me unhappy. But whatever the fuck, I don't care about the stream. I'll fix it somehow. Right, so like that's kind of the point of your positioning here. Anna left? What do you mean, Dean? Classic. I know. Yeah, but like they should capture my display, but it's not capturing the display. It's kind of pissing me off. Oh no, it's because the game. No. I got it. I figured it out. I'm stupid. Boom. And then now, if I draw, works perfect. Okay, sorry. And then I should do something like this, and then it actually fully works. So like I was saying, you positioning from here allows them to have full LOS of this choke right here while using this cover, right? The supports can easily use this bunker, and they can easily use this bunker and this cover. However, if you're all here, you basically allow your card to push to this corner, right, to this choke. The only way they can pressure you is by holding high ground, which they're not, and you have better options to pressure the high ground. There's only Psylocke here. They have Bucky down main, and they have Angela as the solo tank, as the tank with Captain America, right? So like Cap is the one that would need to be playing a little bit more front to back and be acting as an off tank, right? So like you're basically pressuring them to bunker over in this angle, or to basically concede all of this space up to here and not be able to help their Captain America, their Psylocke who's an off angle, and their Angela. So you basically just pressure them all the way up to this choke, and then you basically force them to play here. If you keep pressuring them correctly, they're gonna fall back even further in the choke, and you're basically playing on the third choke near instantly rather than them being able to hold this early area. So that's the point of the positioning. But that positioning isn't just you; that's also your tank. The tank should also be over here, and then Rogue should be on high ground. But you wasted her cooldowns on the Angela early. And this is the other thing I was saying. I know the Angie pushes you, right? But like, look how close you are to your front line. Look how close you are to your front line. Because of your positioning, you're basically on top of your main DPS or your solo DPS. He wasn't your solo, but your main DPS in this case. Meanwhile, your tank is right next to you. Your off tank. So it's this guy's job to hold space, and you're on top of him, right? If he decides to do something like this, which is go a little bit back, now you're the front line. You're the furthest positioned person on the map. She's on an off angle. She's on, like, looking at main lane, right? You are the furthest person pushed up, and you don't have any of this natural cover like your C&D does, so you're literally the most vulnerable person here. If this Bucky and maybe this Gambit were up closer and actually shot at you, you would probably be dead here because of your positioning. Like, look how displaced you are. Luckily, you obviously get to shift out, and I don't think Bucky hits his shots or like. Yeah, so like imagine Bucky headshots you once there, maybe even hits a body shot, you're dead. He misses like 16 shots there, so like obviously you don't die. So that's a positioning mistake. It's on the stream, yeah. And you transition to this cover naturally, knowing this is better cover, because this gives you the vision that you have here, right? So that's really good. No, but like you're positioning in this like bunker side, and this way, like look, the thing you can do from this positioning, right, is you have the ability to naturally weave back and forth from this, like in this angle, in this area, right? So like you can take the off angle, poke, throw your anti-heal here, and then if you're under pressure, use this natural cover a little bit, right? So like this is completely fine if you're like swinging back and front from this as a support, because you can definitely see your main core. I can see your drawing here, but not on Discord. Yeah, because like it's not on Discord. It's on stream. Discord is only streaming the game itself. Um, so like as I was saying, this allows you to use the cover and poke, but like if you position yourself to the right side here, right? So like if you naturally just go over here, you still have the vision of your core. This is your core. This is your off DPS and your off support. Your off DPS and your main tank, right? So like what these guys are doing, they're gonna create space on off angles and off lanes, which you are the one to support that, right? So like this is a little bit of a calm issue. This is a little bit of their like poor timing, but like because early on you didn't hold the high ground, like your rogue gave up the high ground early, and your blade didn't go high ground. You all went front to back with a comp that doesn't allow front to back. You couldn't as Gambit, hold the high ground on your own, right? So you can't take this off angle to heal them. So you kind of are forced to play this bunker in order to get full vision, right? Which is their mistake, not your mistake. So like for you, what you could do here, right? Considering they have a cap and considering this is their team comp, you can reposition even with a double dash to this and then hold this little bunker here with your cloak and dagger as she naturally walks over as you burst heal the high ground. So that's something you can do, right? But like you holding this here is completely fine. But realistically, right, you would be on high ground, but your core, your dive core would also be on the high ground. But they're not. They just went down main. So like you didn't have the off angle main angle uh like fights. You were just going down main and then they went on the off angle. So you don't really have time to reposition. And because of that, you kind of jump out of cover early, so you don't actually establish the bunker. So you can easily be pressured here. But you survive well. Okay, like okay, yeah. You're completely lost here, but luckily so is their team because this Piki is just jumping around cosplaying as Guga, right? These guys are just like missing every shot and not looking at you, right? And then your team is actually winning the fight here because it's an isolated bunker fight. This is the point of the bunker, by the way. Like this is why you bunker. Because look, the point of the bunker is, and what is a bunker? It gives you cover from multiple directions, right? It's not just one side cover, and then they can peek on the other side and still pressure you. Bunker is full side cover. This is a little bit more of an open bunker because they broke it, as you can see, right? However, this Angela cannot be healed from these angles, obviously. Can't be healed from these angles. So the only angle she can be healed from is this, which is like super long range projectiles, and there's also cover, right? So like if I am there Loki, I can't shoot her easily. I can splash damage her. If I'm their Gambit, I need to literally walk up and burst cooldowns, which is what he is doing in order to heal her, right? So that's the point of bunker. So you, as a support, bunker early here in this zone, right? So you're a little bit further up from the bunker. You're a ranged character, so you can actually just sit here further back, bait your Captain America in, play in the cloak bubble. Their Angela pushes all back onto you. You have two tanks in the bunker. You two heal each other, and your entire team collapses on them. And because you're in bunker, they can't get support from the enemy team because they don't have a mobile DPS, right? Their only mobile DPS is Psylocke, who's already pressured out, right? And she needs to like get into melee range to actually do significant damage. She can just slowly poke her. They don't have like a Daredevil to jump on you. They don't have like a Blade themselves. They don't have Black Panther or anything that can pressure you here easily, right? So it's just Psylocke doing this like slow poke, and then she goes fully on the high ground as your Angela's dying. So like I said, this is the strength of the bunker because she only has one real way of engaging on you, which is this wide area where you're fully protected from every other angle, or she has to go all the way around to get to you. Like she needs to go back here, go through these stairs, come here in order to poke you people from the back line. Which she would probably need to disengage because she's easily pressured because she's in this choke here. Right? So this is the power of the bunker right here on display. And like I said, if these guys were looking at you, you are out of position insanely because like no, just yeah, but just look at this. So you are in the bunker, and then you walk down main lane for no reason, right? So you're like in the safety of the. But but like imagine this though. Your card is push. Your card is here. It can easily push. You kill the Angela. You help them kill the Angela. Do like 3 damage. It doesn't really fucking matter, right? And then all of you re-establish pressure from this down main, which forces their Psylocke to be entirely behind you and useless, and needs to hit at the same time as their Captain America. So what you have is a forced fight. I need to call my girlfriend in a sec. But like you have a forced fight on their main like core, which is their double support and their DPS. So you easily just go walk them down main and just win the fight. All right, all right. Okay, okay. I am back. So like, goodbye. Okay, so I'm back. So like, where were we before? I was talking about the bunkers. Sundian. Yeah, fine. I'll do Wordle as well on stream. That's a solution, I guess. We're all doing Wordle. Kind of. What? Uh. Kind of. That's a stupid guess. Um. Not that great. No. Um. I'm washed, bro. I haven't played Wordle in a while. Oh, don't look at the spoilers. Um. How's a tune not like? You know what? I can just do tunes and then that helps for the letters. Yes, there is an E. There's no E there. Why are you giggling? Hold up. Hold up. What is the word? Uh, a toupee? I feel like T has to be here, bro. Like, T is there or there. Like 2. At 2. Yes. On the 2nd or 4th place. I think it's on the 2nd, but I'm not sure. A toughie. Am I close? Like, breaking my mind. Hold on. I need to figure out where T is. And maybe like the E. Because A is first. U is not second. That doesn't really help. Then E isn't there, so that also doesn't help. This is a LARP, but maybe it helps. Okay, this helps a lot. Oh, I got it. Fuck yeah, baby. Still got it. The goat is not washed. The goat is not washed. I'm officially not washed. Well, damn. That's quick. I got it in the last one, but I got it. So it matters. Okay, are we going back to the VOD review? Alright. So this is you getting a little bit into your own head. From me saying you're like overusing cooldowns, you're underusing them now. Right? No, but like it's no. Listen. This is what I was talking about yesterday with Coach and with you. It's really simple thing to happen. It's like I'm making you basically focus on two things. One of which is cooldown management, the other is cover. Right? So you're overthinking both, and you're either gonna fuck up cover or you're gonna fuck up cooldown management in either of these. And like when somebody tells you you're overusing cooldowns, your natural reflex is to underuse them. Right? So like in this scenario, you're not damage boosting yourself, you're not shooting for the damage boost, you're not pressuring the backline, you're not double dashing aggressively despite already having a major pick and a lot of space because you're forcing defensive abilities, right? So like I said here, if we look at the this specific scenario, right, ignoring the fact that you didn't play here, like I said, from this angle, you can double dash here while you have your initial damage boost popped, shoot the Psylocke and throw your damage boost and she dies. If you just do FF. Additionally, you can, again, double dash here with your damage boost, knock back Captain America so he can't use his jump again. Right? So, like, either of these picks can easily happen if you simply play more aggressively. Right? Like, this guy should die, right? Now, when you're in this next scenario, you do bunker correctly, right? This is your vision. However, look, you can FF here and just like throw your anti-heal right in this corner here. Right? But you're already winning. See, like you wiped them and then you basically didn't contribute. You have no damage boost, right? See, like you did only 365 damage. You see what I mean? So like, look how more effective, despite losing the fight, look how more effective their gambit is. Despite dying, he has 600 damage. He basically has double your damage at the same healing rate. Right? So like, if you bursted your cooldowns there to actually like pressure, you would have done more. That's like, it's basically like learning when to use your cooldowns. It's really safe to use them when your team is holding W key and basically wiping their team and winning fights. Because then you apply more pressure, the fight is won quicker, which means you can take out way more space later. So like, you're not going to be delayed in killing this guy. You can already walk up all the way over here with your main tanks, and then caught up this Angela and then pressure her. She falls further back, and then basically they have to fully regroup as you're holding this choke instead of holding this. Let me see if I can get the top down view. Right. So like the quicker you clear this choke is the quicker you clear this choke is the quicker you clear this choke. You see what I mean? Let me see if I can get even better view. This is the better view, right? So like majority of maps, especially these maps that are like one big lanes and the side lanes are really small. Like technically this is a side lane, but neither of these side lanes are actually interesting to say, right? Like neither of those side lanes are actually gonna contribute much to it, right? So like you want to hold this choke. This is your first choke to fight in, and we usually have fights. This is your second choke because there's cover around here, so it kind of creates a side lane. And there's also cover here, so this also kind of creates a side lane. And then finally, you want to transition into fighting in the final choke, which is basically here where the card caps, where they have a lot of natural cover and natural bunker here, and then this side lane becomes actually active. And on top of it, you have, when we look from this top view, right, you have this little space where they can set up supports, where they can be dove, right? So this creates this little area. It creates the main fight, which is in the main box area here, and has this bunker, and then all of this open space for dive. All of this open space for dive. So this is why you want to get to this choke as quickly as possible, especially with a comp, which has two off tanks, two main tanks, both of which can create space, both of which can hold space. They're kind of like hybrid tanks. So like in this area, you do want to enable their ability to brawl and dive deep, which is why you want to avoid this choke, because this choke is really good to hold on defense in front of back scenarios. Luckily, they don't have it. They also have dive, which then forces people to play in this choke further back, which is this over here, right? Like this choke here, right? So this is where they can dive, but this isn't really good for dive because this area here is, it's blocked off the map, right? So you have this, and this. This is kind of like a big bunker without a top area, so you can easily fall back here or fall back here if you're playing in this low choke. It's much harder to dive than this open area over here or the open area at the end. So you want to get as much space as quickly as possible. That's a little bit of map knowledge. See, like right now, why don't we double dash here? Like we know, dead. We can tab and see it. This guy, we know we pressured him. This guy, we know he's in fucking Narnia doing cardio like Guga does, and we know Angela is coming back from spawn. So like, there's literally nothing for you to worry about. So like, if you, for example, double dash here with your rogue can freely walk up, and you can actually even set up and kill this guy, which basically enables this entire choke push because this guy is staggering himself insanely. I assume he dies here still. Alright? But there's like no reason for you to not establish this distance instantly, because think of it this way, right? Not using your cooldowns doesn't mean you're just going to have them more. It means you're getting less value out of them. But if you double dash here, by the time they regroup, you have the double dash back up. So you're not actually wasting cooldowns in neutral. That's why people, like you as well, right? Let's say you die and you want to get back to this fight. You're going to double dash on the spawn, right? Not use shift right click, but use shift right click to get closer. Maybe even use the second cooldown, because by the time you actually get to the choke and get to the fight, you're going to have that cooldown back. So there's nothing like, there's no reason for you to be scared to double dash up here and even damage boost yourself and then shoot the Loki and kill him quickly, right? This is a good angle to actually take to kill him, but there's no reason for you not to be more aggressive here. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, this isn't a wrong play, but this is a play where you can actually be more of a playmaker and actually create more pressure on your team, right? And then again, like I said earlier, you are your cloak and dagger is the support that's gonna sit on cart and hold space. You are the DPS. You're the better player in off lanes because you have more mobility than Cloak and Dagger, and you can actually have more utility on that off lane goal, because Cloak and Dagger can't really do either. Her main survival tool is also her main supportive tool, her bubble, and then her other survivor tool, which is her fade, is her mobility ability. So she can't burn either of those to actually help side lanes. That's your job, right? Like the off angle, the high ground, or whatever. See, this is good. Pop the damage boost, shoot him. Right? And then at the end, you can CC one of them, you can anti-heal, you can do whatever. But as you see this is what happens right away. So like, like I was mentioning earlier, because of the passivity, right, that your team is doing, and because you yourself as a support is not pushing up, right, you guys are basically for allowing them to get back to this choke despite their support being fully staggered. And then these two, as you can see, they're just like literally wasting time. And then your entire team, instead of holding here, which is what would happen if you just double dash on this high ground, you hold the entirety of this space, you can see it. You hold the entirety of this space, and you can see it from this angle, as well as if anything comes back here, you have this angle. So like this position is vulnerable because everybody sees you, but this position gives you the most vision out of anybody. And if you get pressure from any of these lanes, you can drop down from the high ground and you have this natural cover. This is where your team is usually going to be, right? So if you drop down here, right, you're not really worried that much from damage here. You're worried from damage here or damage here. So naturally, if you just drop down here, this covers the entire spectrum of the damage that you can receive. So there's like not that much. There isn't much threat of you standing on this high ground. There's not like much risk, right? You can stay here, and it's kind of risk averse while giving you the full pressure here. So like the second somebody like peeks this corner from this angle, your tank pool can hog this corner. Your rogue can play from this side lane to flank, or from this side lane to cover somebody flanking, right? And then you can easily just damage boost somebody here, or like anti-heal somebody here, and they're going to take a lot of damage. Knowing one of their supports is dead, you basically take the other support out of the fight by just pressuring him out, right? If you anti-heal the Gambit here, he needs to double dash away. So they lose pressure here. But you being back here forces your entire team. So let me just clear this a little bit. Can I clear this? Right. So instead of holding this, you pressure you fall back to card to push card, which if you saw when I was playing with Coffee earlier, right? Neither of us are like sitting on card that much. It's only one person at most, but holding space and holding chokes matters more than pushing the card. Card is gonna auto push. You might get a little bit more time, but holding space denies the initial choke fight and loses you. It gains you the potential of not having to fight two fights, but having to fight one fight. So you're not just fighting for this choke, you're fighting immediately for this choke. So instead of having one fight here and then one fight here, you're only gonna have one fight. So that's the point of why you hold so deep. That is why everybody just like holds so deep. So you see, your entire team is now choked up on top of each other on card. So you're not getting the full value out of the push. You're not holding the initial, like the deeper choke. This choke is gonna be like obviously conceded because they can't, because your initial fight was on this first choke, right? So they fully lost this fight, so the second choke is free. But then you don't hold this, so they actually reestablish and they get this full fight rather than denying them the ability to have the full fight completely. See, like this is what I'm saying. Look where their Loki is, by the way. While you're like super afraid, their Loki is coming out of spawn. This is where their Loki is while you're doing this, being scared. And look at what their Gambit is doing, by the way. So he is solo healing at the moment, and look, he still creates pressure. So their Gambit solo healing is creating more pressure than you not solo healing. You see what I mean? Yeah. Like, you should know that this guy is getting forced on a side lane. You're the one that needs to help him. And you know the positioning of both of their tanks, so you're not going to get flanked. So what you should do is help this guy on an off angle get a kill. So it's not about him surviving, it's about him getting a kill. The way you do it is from two positions. This position, pressuring this angle, or going all the way around here, which is the worst position, and then pressuring this guy. So like if you simply get on this high ground, their DPS is dead. One of their DPS is dead, right? You easily pressure this. And you pressuring this means she can move up and he can move up, and then this guy actually can make some value. Because let me just drop literally this angle. Look how little actual like view you have here. Yeah. This is why this height is really powerful, because again, let's say your card pushes up to this position. If you're in this height, look at the vision. You can mark this block key, you can mark this angle, and you can help this angle. You literally have full view of the entire fight, and if you're under pressure, boop, cover. And then this is the only angle you worry about. Obviously up top, but you can already, this if somebody dives you here and then you drop here, and then you can circle back and get basically in the same cover you already were, which is round card. And again, like, you need to know what your job is. Is your job to be on the side lane? Is your job to be on the main lane? It's obviously your job to be on the side lane because you're with a cloak and dagger. So you obviously don't hold down main. And look, both of their tanks go on the off angle here. Their DPS is dead, right? So you have two tanks fighting here, like D'Angelo was here like a second ago, because I already wanted you to be here. This guy dies. Do you know how quickly you create pressure in this choke here? And then Angela needs to back up because her backline is backing up. She can't create any pressure. So if you create enough pressure here, your rogue pushes, they die, you get the choke for free. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but like, it's not even about helping him specifically. It's about your positioning being optimal. Yeah, this is deeper. This is map knowledge. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's not even that deep of a map knowledge thing. It's this is a free. This is free height. Height is almost always the more powerful thing. Like, whoever controls high ground is usually going to be controlling better positions because, like I said earlier, this gives you vision of everything, right? This gives you, like, let's say you're holding this angle, right? This gives you vision of that and that, but not main. This position gives you vision of just this side lane and nothing else. This gives you vision of everything. This here gives you only position of main because your vision is blocked by two different sides. You know? So like, it's kind of, I think you can like applying what I'm saying here, you can apply it to other maps quite easily. To like distinguish those things. It's not about just cover. By the way, if you're on high ground, right here, right? Look at their Elsa. One shot from like this angle before she drops down, she's dead. But like, that's what I'm saying. It's like she's probably gonna die because your team is better than them objectively, right? Your team is just playing better, right? Your team doesn't have the much superior comp. Like, the only difference would be like changing Angela for Rogue, and then maybe changing one of the DPS. But like, I think Starlord's banned, Phoenix is banned, yeah, the hit scanner banned. So like, you're in a decent position here, right? So like, your comp is better, but your team is also playing it better. It's more cohesive. So like, naturally you're gonna win this fight. But like, in a scenario where the enemy team isn't that much worse than you and has a better or same comp as you, those little things are going to create the difference between you winning fights and losing fights, and then winning games and losing games, because more fights you win, much more likely you're going to win the game. And again, your rogue is pressuring you off angle, right? So like, from this instance, right? Let me just camera. Right, so like, from this instance, right? You would initially, right? So like, right here, you kill the Elsa, their DPS is dead, their tank is pressured out. So naturally, here from this height, you drop down here and position yourself into like perfectly only focus on this choke, but also have vision of this. So you can easily help your rogue pressure this main. Like, you have much easier way of dropping down here than going here, than going all the way around here. It also helps your next positioning. And then also, if we go back here, right? Instead of looking at your cloak and dagger here, they're fine. They're under zero pressure. You should be pressuring this gambit. Like, who is gonna shoot at the cloak and dagger? Exactly. So like, ignore your shitty cloak and dagger. Position yourself here, anti-heal him, and then your rogue goes, oh, I'm going in. And then you burn his cooldowns. If he doesn't get to base in time, he can't TP, and then you just collapse on him in this choke. And you also wouldn't have let the Loki touch, for example, because you would have marked him earlier. But it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't really matter because your Bucky goes into their backline and kills like 4 people. Right? Bucky just like walks around and goes like, "Oh, you're dead. Oh, you're dead." You know, so it doesn't really matter. And then look at this. Card is auto pushing, right? Card is auto pushing. Sure. But like I said, card is auto pushing. You're not marking the off angle tank, and you're not taking space. What you should be doing is double dashing to like cover as much ground as possible. Get into this corner here with your tanks, and then instead look. By the way, like we were talking about earlier, we're gonna talk about it again here. So let's look at this map now. This choke here. So the way your card moves on this choke is as follows, right? Your card goes here, 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 right? So naturally, what you want to do is get your card from this kill box to this kill box as quickly as humanly possible. So this choke to this choke as quickly as possible, because this is hugely open space and it's awkward as fuck to fight in and makes dive really good once this is broken, right? Because look, you can't hold this height because you can't drop here because this is a pseudo kill box, and then bunkering here doesn't give you good vision, so that's not a good angle to take. You basically have to fight in this high ground, which is open from every single space, but it is a high ground, so it is advantageous. But also the enemy, if they want to fight, they can set up on this high ground and this high ground, and then they have actual space to back out into cover. So like let me delete this again, and then like so let's say you lose this fight because you didn't hold them here, right? So your card doesn't over push over here. What happens is the enemy overtakes, and then they set up on this height. They set up on this height. If you pressure them from here, they just drop down here into this into this choke. So this is so much cover from them. If they get pressured out from here, they drop to this cover, and then disengage, and then go all the way around, loop around. Or they can drop down here, use a mobility ability, and get behind this cover, right? So like you want your team to push through this area of the map, so like this area of the map, as quickly as humanly possible. The way you do that is by forcing the fight here, making them burn ults here. So even if they push you back, like they have 2 Gambit ults. So naturally, if they ult from here, they can get up to here. If they ult from here, they can basically push into this choke. Same goes if they push here, and they deny you all of this push, right? So like you want them to ult from as far back as possible from this choke to push you off of this choke onto this corner here. Because then you counter push from this side, and you basically make them waste their cooldowns, so you win the ult cycle. That is the main point here. Because the earlier the defense ults, in order to take space, that means you win the ult cycle, right? Think of it this way, right? Why do you almost never ult on defense first, right? The reason why is you lose the ult cycle. Because if let's say, let me go down the map. Can this move a little bit quicker? Holy shit. Right. Let's say we're holding this choke, right? Let's say we're holding this choke, right? And we are holding this really hard, or even holding this really hard with like our core. They basically, in order, let's say they can't break it easily, they have to Gambit ult to break this. We naturally back up. Can the map? I can't. Okay, no. Right. We naturally back up. So when we back up, right, and get back here, they're down a support ult, we are back in cover, we stabilize, and then we have more support ults. Then we can use our Gambit ult, they force their Gambit ult, the fight is neutral, for example, then we have Cloak and Dagger ult to just completely outcycle them, and we win the fight. So that's kind of why you pressure as deep as possible every time, right? And the way you kind of do it is your tanks need to do it, but your tanks can't solo push. You as the support kind of navigate it. So you can call it out, and you can just go, yo guys, let's push up. And then you push up here and hold this corner with them. Or you simply just walk up and they're going to follow you. There's no way they're going to let you solo frontline, right? Fight is neutral, and the card pushes automatically, just free value. Exactly what. Uh, there's a lot of H's in that name, so I'm gonna call you H because I cannot pronounce that. I'm sorry. It's like what H said in chat. The fight is in neutral, right? So you're forcing them to use ults to break the neutral fight, and the card is just gonna push up. Perfectly summarized. So like, what's the point of that? You know. Meanwhile, by the way, their Captain America is untouched and unbothered this entire time. So when you guys get like sandwiched, he can pressure your backline easily and stall card here for free. Because you're not pressuring his team, so he can actually just like sandwich and hit at the same time as the fun. Sorry, why am I'm looking at the wrong guy? Yeah, I don't think you covered like half of your team because of your positioning. Like if you know, like I think. So like this is the point where you want to hit, right? And you know these guys are back here. There's like your rogue is already draining their ults, right? Your rogue is already draining the ults, right? So there's no reason for you to give her the extra ability from the ultimate. This either forces their supports to ult, but they can't combo ult, right? So like, look, your rogue is on Elsa. and Elsa needs to get into position to ult, so her ult's being drained on top of that, so she can't combo with Gambit. This guy, similarly, right? He can't really do the combo instantly. And keep in mind, your ult counters Bucky ult immediately. So if Bucky ults somebody and then you ult, you cleanse the Bucky ult instantly, right? So there's no reason to panic, right? We chill back here, right? We cancel this, right? The Bucky's gonna go in. You take an aggressive angle, pocket the rogue, right? Get over here, right? Double dash, get over here, pocket the rogue, boom, pop the ult, and then you double your Q with your entire team, right? That's much healthier. And again, it delays your ultimate from their ultimate, so there is ultimate overlap where your ult is stronger. So you're naturally gonna win that fight. This is also a moment where your cloak and dagger is fucking up and not pocketing your Bucky, so your Bucky has to waste ult early. But that is the issue of your other support, not your issue. You are the guy who covers side lanes and covers deep engagements. So if you just double dash here, pocket her, everybody's looking at her, so you just pocket her. Switch your camera slightly like this while being in this cover. Like this is cover for you, right? So like you're playing here, right? Naturally, if you just sit like this a little bit, by like slightly moving for like 2 steps, you see her, you see everybody, you pop ult, and then your entire team W keys through this choke. And then you can actually win the choke because your ult's gonna be stronger. This makes I think she gets it. Does she get it? I don't think she doesn't get it. These two don't get it. This guy isn't in position to hit. You're basically effectively just ulting your rogue. Because this guy is not in position to hit. Yeah. Yeah, but as you can see, the reasoning why is when you're hitting. Right? You need to have your DPS in a position to actually actively hit. If you're scared of dying, cloak and dagger ult. Just go cloak, you ult now. Or cloak, ult offensively, I'll ult aggressively. That little small call is basically gonna solve the issue you're having. Because in that case, if you feel under pressure, her ult is a better defensive ult objectively. You don't heal anywhere near as much. And your ult is the aggressive one. So you just go, like, cloak Q ult defensively. She thinks you guys are in trouble. She goes, fate of both worlds. Goes, bam, 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 and you're there. And you're still pressuring. Even though it's a defensive ult. But your ult currently just hits 2 people, only one of which can and is hitting, while the other guy can't hit. Like, your Blade is nowhere in position to hit, even though he has his ultimate. If you give him time, this guy gets fully marked and dies, and then Blade can go from here, you pop the ult, and then Blade literally just goes zoom into this choke, and then kills everybody. And as you can see here, neither of your DPS can actually, like, your Bucky can't push up. He doesn't have the ultimate. He doesn't have the mobility. Your tank bull can't push up. I don't know what she's doing. And look, your blade overextends, wastes his cooldowns to ultimate here. And even if he gets the ultimate off, right, it's not going to get as much value because he wasted his dashes in order to get into this position to ult to begin with. Right? Like, let's watch the blade. So he doesn't have ultimate. He's marking this guy, which is good. This is correct from your blade, by the way. You ult him, and then he's like, fuck. Okay, let me dash. Let me ult just the solo Loki instead of ulting this kill box. Right, when he actually has a position to do it. And then his ult gets wasted completely because the Loki just TPs and he can't really chase him. Because his only dash is his escape tool from this point. Because they have cap ult going. And you lose the fight. Despite, like, this was a winnable fight for you. But your bad ultimate loses you the fight. And your Cloak and Dagger's terrible positioning and lack of ulting also doesn't help. But, like, you ulting poorly there loses you the win condition, makes two of your teammates useless, and makes the other teammate in a bad position, so he wastes ultimate in order to try to get some value out of your ultimate. And then your Cloak and Dagger mispositions, dies early, doesn't ult, so you just lose the fight. By the way, smartest thing to do here, watch this. Cleanse. Don't even try to dash. Try to cleanse as hard as humanly possible in order for the Bucky reset to not go off, so your other teammates have a chance to actually exit. Okay, so here, no, listen. Before you press the F, you dash. I'll show you the exact moment. She dies. This cunt is on top of you, double dash, instantly behind. Create space instantly. So this is when you're gonna double dash. Back or into, like, you either double dash into this little corner here to give you cover, give you access to the health pack, and access to this Bucky so you can heal him. This guy's not gonna die here from this angle. So you go back here, you double dash here. Even if Angela keeps pressuring you, unless she solo ults you, you're not gonna die instantly there, because you can again double dash outwards and you can pocket your Bucky and your Bucky can help you. From this angle, you waste your cooldown. This is when you pop the card, right? This is when you push the card, which doesn't work on him, and then you don't actually have the ability to just double dash, right? So that's the main issue. Look, by the way, look where your Bucky is. This is where their Bucky ults. Right. Armed and Dangerous misses your Bucky, but hits you because you didn't double dash here. Even if you did pop your F there, by the way, just double dash instantly with it. No. Look. It's not about whether or not you would survive. It's about doing the correct play. Right, so let's say you pop your F here, you see the Bucky ulting, you double dash here, the Bucky misses his ult, you get the health back here, and then you and the Bucky have a 2v2 versus them, where you guys have more damage and healing. So you have potential to actually turn this fight and maybe kill their Bucky, and then Angela has to reset, fully back out, because at this point you would have used your double dash, one card, right? Gotten the health back here, and then you can have 3 cards to actually play around with, which can fully hard pocket your Bucky and damage boost yourself to do more damage. You still have your second double dash. You have your actual primary. So you two would actually have potential to win this fight if you survive. But like if you get into this bunker to actually fight here. But like this basically just removes that potential. So it removes potential for you to make a play to win the fight. Because if these guys get cleared out, by you and the Bucky, that means they're both DPS and one of their tanks is dead. This guy's not gonna die. He's tankable, right? He is literally tankable, and it gives time for your it gives you time for your Cloak and Dagger to push back up and then do an ultimate later, right? Your rogue can survive this here because this is 2 supports and a tank They're not gonna kill your rogue and blade quickly, right? The blade can die, but rogue is not gonna die in this scenario. It gives you time to, and also like keep this in mind. Like I said, if you two bunker here, your tank will have chances to actually come here and make it a 3v2. an isolated 3v2 as well. So you can easily turn this fight. Like, there's potential to turn this fight if you play correctly. Like, does it require more skill from you? Yes. But that's kind of the point. That's what's going to propel you into higher elo if those moments which like require high skill from you to turn the fight actually happen more often. So like this is like basically it requires you to play it better, like maybe mechanically better, but it's not fully dependent on the mechanics to be like really good. It's decision making, right? Decision making offers you to be put in a position where if you're good enough mechanically, you carry out the win and win the fight, right? Because like their Bucky, look at the Bucky, by the way. So like he has no cooldowns when he ults you. So if he ulted in this corner, he would have no cooldowns to actually disengage. So meanwhile, your Bucky has his cooldowns, right? So your Bucky can actually help you turn the fight. Your tank pool has double jump, right? And dash. Your tank pool has double jump and dash. Like, and look, your rogue is back into this 3-0 before their supports are able to do it because of your blade. So objectively speaking, if you bunker here and live for like 5 seconds longer and maybe even not get hit by this ultimate, you actually have such a good way to turn this fight. You know what I mean? So like saying it doesn't matter, it's not the same. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like this is where you need to like think proactively and think about what is actually gonna give you a favorable position, right? So like you just dashing away from your team, that's like what we were saying on like a smaller scale, because this is a higher game sense type of thing. You just passively esking away from your tank and away from your team means you're gonna get less peel, right? So similarly here, you dashing away from your team might mean in your head, okay, this is safety. Getting into a bunker with a health pack and your Bucky and your tank pool and your rogue converging on that spot means you're gonna have more ability to actually fight back. You would have potentially like give it 5 seconds, right? Give it 5 seconds. Like, by the way, you die 1 second, like 2 seconds prior to this, right? 2 seconds prior to this, giving their Bucky the ability to ult again. If you don't die there and those 2 seconds are like wasted on you being in this bunker, you have a 3 on their side and 4 on your side. So you have a 4v3, but your side has a support and 2 tanks. Meanwhile, theirs has 2 tanks, a Bucky, but no support. So you're actually favored to hold or win that fight, which gives time for your Cloak and Dagger to come back up. But this Bucky should basically die in that scenario, by the way. Like you should realistically be killing, and then look, their Bucky dies instantly, basically, right? Like you're still dead. It's been 4 seconds since you died. So give it 5 seconds of you living longer. This fight is turned, and you won the fight, and you basically got them into the position where they have to kind of TP or waste ultimates. Like they could maybe waste Loki ultimate here to like contest you guys. And if they waste Loki ultimate to contest you guys, you say, okay, that's fine. Watch this fight. Don't use anything. Win them with Cloak and Dagger next fight. You know what I mean? So like, look how little. Like you said, you told me specifically that that didn't matter if I lived. I don't think it mattered if I lived. And then look, we literally see you living for 5 seconds longer, which you definitely do if you get into the bunker. Literally means you win the fight. And like, imagine there's some psychological thing about it as well. Imagine you turning and winning the fight when you kill their support first. And you have 4 minutes left, and you're basically pushing them to the final choke. Their mental is gonna boom, and then you could basically just get washed in this fight, like in this game. You basically just wash them in this game. This is like a turning point of like, oh, we're getting steamrolled. Fuck this shit. Versus, oh, we have a chance. We can actually fight. We can stabilize. And naturally, now your team has no support, so they're gonna get slowly picked up. But like, look how long your tanks are surviving, by the way, with 0 heals. This is the point where you actually like come back properly. Perfect. You missed, but perfect. Look, this is a mechanical. No. Listen. This is a mechanical mistake, but mechanical mistake is like something you're gonna make, right? But like the decision making is good. That's what matters. Like Mechanics are like you practice it. Go into fucking Kovacs or whatever the fuck and aim your and train your aim, or go into the practice range and train your aim. Right? Like, yeah. You know what's a really nice way to do it? Just jump and shoot it, or get on high ground and shoot it. It's much harder to miss. Just jump. It gives you a little bit of extra. Like literally, look at this. I don't know if you actually have the time. Right, jump, and like literally like this. So like you jump, it goes. Fuck. How do I move the camera? The way I want to move it. So like you jump, you literally get this LOS basically. You get basically this field of view, and you can easily hit it. It's literally just jumping helps. Um, but like I said, it doesn't fucking matter that you miss. You're gonna miss shit. It's the decision making, right? Like, let's say you it takes you 5 nanoseconds to go into practice range and practice jumping and shooting the fucking F, and you got it down. So next time you make this decision, it gets a kill. That's what matters. This is how you improve. But like, if you don't make this correct decision, who gives a shit if you can aim correctly or not? You know what I mean? Like, who gives a shit if you can actually hit the shot if you're not actually shooting it? Oh my god, bro! H guy changed his name to H guy. I respect that so fucking much. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. But like what he says here is perfect. He says messing up mechanics is what I consider neutral variance. Always be some odd chance of failure. Obviously, I've seen Sparker, right, miss shots point blank on Psylocke, but it's fucking Sparker. He's the best like Psylocke in the world. So like, if he can miss some shots on his best hero, why the fuck can't you miss your shots? It doesn't matter. But like, it matters because he's always gonna be in position where those shots matter, and you're not always gonna be in positions where those shots matter. Right? So it doesn't even fucking matter if you can hit them or not if you're not in the position to make them. Right? It's kind of like, you know that usual like basketball term, like, you miss every shot you don't take. This is literally it. But you took the shot. It takes you 5 seconds to improve your aim here and hit the shot next time, which gets you the kill. Sure. Look, high ground for 5 nanoseconds. But good, we're taking space. We're taking space. You know what you can do here as well? You can easily just pat here. Freely. You want to know why you can pat here? Even if these guys shoot you, ooh, I'm double dash. I'm behind the corner. They can't do shit to me. And my collector can pocket me. So, like, easily take this angle. Easily take this angle and anti-kill this again. This entire core. Or this core. Like, pressure this bitch. And because you didn't like double dash the position there quickly enough, your blade fully disengages. Your rogue has to disengage. She doesn't. She's W King still, but like your rogue, your blade fully disengages, so your kill potential is lower. And again, like, what matters is cover when you're like in a defensive situation, but like vision also matters. If you're hugging, if you're hugging like this and like, look from your point of view, right? So this is your point of view, right? This is invisible to you. This choke is invisible. Like, you cannot see anything here. The only thing you can see is your cone, like here. So unless they're fighting in this cone, you can't see it. However, if you double dash like from here to here, right? This is your cone of vision. So you see this choke and this choke. Your blade doesn't have to disengage. Potentially die. Like, this is what we're saying. Like, the variance, right? Let's say this guy got headshotted one more time, then body shotted. He's dead, and you have to back up. You're losing the fight. They re-engage with Loki ult and Gambit ult. They watch you use the choke, right? But you positioning here aggressively early means you can heal him like double, like EE, right? This is a good moment to use it, right? You heal both of these guys up, and then you can pressure, and he can actually kill this Gambit easily because he probably already pressured him enough to the point where this Gambit is low on cooldowns. Look. I am not checking his cooldowns. I'm not tracking them, but I'm telling you that he is gonna have no cooldowns for the reason that he's in this position. So if you're already pressuring here and your blade can just dive this guy, he can double dash, but blade is still gonna catch him and kill him because blade is gonna have his dashes up, but Blade has to disengage with his dash, so he loses that pressure. Mind you, same goes with their rogue. We need a big flag roll. Cleanse. Perfect. Pressure, 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 pressure. They anti-heal this and kill him. Perfect. Slightly slow APM. It takes you a little bit. No. Listen. This is slightly low APM because it takes you more time to think about it. It's not second nature, but you're learning the hero. You're learning the playstyle. So that's normal. Like, that's just normal. That's not something you're going to worry about. It's like, am I making the correct decision? Yes. If I'm consistently making correct decisions, they become second nature. I don't need to think about the decisions I'm going to have. My APM is going to be higher. So I'm going to make them quicker. Perfect. And now what should happen is your tanks push up and you're already poking this choke. Like you hug this corner and poke this choke if they walk up. See, like, this puts you, like, standing here is useless. Standing here is super useful because if anybody stays, they're dead. So you initially double dash here because, look, by the time they TP all the way over to this spawn, you're already getting set up for this corner fight or this corner fight. Like, you need to think about a couple of steps forward, but like the easiest way to do it, to not overthink it you simply go, did we win the fight? Yes. Are they gonna TP to other spawn? Yes. Burst all my fucking cooldowns to get as far up as possible. That's simple. It's that simple. You don't need to overthink it further past that. So, like, burst every fucking cooldown, all of you, to get to the next choke. Look. They didn't TP. Perfectly what I said. They did not TP, so you have the potential to damage boost yourself and anti-heal and actually do damage here, and you can stagger their supports and kill them quicker because they didn't TP. This is the benefit. And like I said, look at the distance between you and your rogue, for example. This is one double dash. This is the other double dash. This guy's getting anti-healed. He is also running away from base. He probably also doesn't have cooldowns of his own. Look, he doesn't. So, like, you can kill him. He probably can still die, right? But, like, you're not ensuring that by your playstyle. It's just luck if he dies here. Like, it's not luck. It is his misplay, but, like, you are not going to flip that in a game where it matters, right? So, like, you doing the correct thing when it doesn't matter means that when it doesn't matter, it's going to matter. You get what I mean? Exactly. You're naturally gonna do it. You're gonna be like, okay, I already took the space that I needed. Like, by the way, keep this in mind, right? You can be on top of them because if we go back to your positioning, right? Right here, you're all grouped up. All of you are grouped up. Every single one of you is grouped up. Rogue is actually T-posing in the fucking backline, right? No. I'm just joking. But, like, listen to this. Look. You're, like, staggering yourself on top of the cart, doing fuck all. Meanwhile, your rogue, right, who has no cooldowns. Okay, she's AFK. She defeats my fucking purpose. Force. Defeats my fucking point. Your Bucky, who didn't shift out, is so far further back. Like, look at his distance, right? And he still hasn't used his mobility. Like, you should actually be ahead of your fucking Blade at this point because of how much you actually have mobility here. And then on this corner, you notice that they're still here. You anti-heal, your Blade kills them instantly. Like, boom. They have no choice but to die. Like, look, your Bucky, this is pedestrian man over here. This motherfucker has one mobility ability, and he can slowly walk. Mind you, he didn't even use his mobility ability. This is literally just pedestrian man. Like, this isn't Winter Soldier, this is just Bucky Barnes, who's slowly, like, edging forwards. Meanwhile, you're Gambit, and you're, like, 60 billion feet away from him. If you pressure this, like, much easier, depending on the situation, like, let's say you already lost the fight before, like, or, like, you won the fight, but not everybody lived. Like, let's say your Bucky is dead. Let's say your tank pull is dead, or your rogue is dead, and your Bucky's dead. It's just you, tank pull, and the Blade. So you taking that pressure earlier means you actually do get these staggers, right? Now there's like 4 people here fighting them, so obviously they're gonna lose. Some are civilian, exactly. H guy. I like H guy. Right, and you're like afraid here. Why are you afraid? You know their supports are dead. No. But look at this. This is a mental thing that you need to like get over. Like this being afraid. I'm not even gonna look at your second Luna game. It doesn't fucking matter because this is what we're gonna focus on. Because you do the same exact fucking thing on Luna. She's just faster than this guy because she can night skate. Right? It literally doesn't matter. Like you saw the way I was playing Luna when I was showing you. I had a Venom and Mr. Fantastic as my fucking frontline. And what was I doing? I was literally running at motherfuckers as Luna and creating pressure. Right? When it mattered. Right? I wasn't doing it I wasn't inting. Right? But when we had pressure, I pushed it. Right? As somebody who isn't a support player. Right? So like if you are pushing this, right? And let's say you move up to where your rogue is, right? This guy's obviously fucking dead. You shoot him 3 times, he's fucking dead. And then this guy bursted like 2 cooldowns, 100% to get out of base. Yup. You pressure him. Where's the other motherfucker on their team? Okay, she doesn't matter. This motherfucker, right? Okay, he's just now coming out of base, right? So he can actually reset. She can reset, but like this guy 100% dies, and then you can pressure this guy, and then he doesn't actually get to do what he's gonna do now, which is stall your cart. Right, but like you all now concede the space. This is a team mistake. This is a team mistake. All of this is a team mistake. But like no, yeah, all of this is a team mistake, and you're losing a shit ton of time, right? But like if you calmed it earlier, right? Keep pressure. That's like the only calm you need. You are up here with him. You mark the Captain America jumping from here to here because you have long range and you can just you have the ability, you have the freedom to not consistently look at the enemies. So you have the ability to look at your surroundings so you can mark the cap easily because you're mobile as well. So your cap doesn't even get to pressure this. And then you basically get into this position. You pressured her. She has to back up until the supports are back up, right? And then you basically get 2 corners for free. Like we were talking about, like, okay, so since I was talking about, let me just let the map rebuild real quick. Okay, so like since I explained every single corner of the map earlier, I'm gonna do it again here. Just let me get into a good position. Okay, let's say it like this, right? So basically, unless the enemy team, all of the entire enemy team, stays in the base, like that over there is their base. Like just think of their base, right? If they don't stay in the base as you're pushing up these stairs, right? Your first fight is gonna be this corner. Okay? That is only if the enemy team doesn't TP from base and they all hold you early. Right? If they don't do that, the next corner you're gonna fight around is this choke. If you do what I said, you establish this high ground, you establish this high ground, and you control this choke. Meaning this choke is free. This path is always free because it's an open path. Okay? So that's number 1. Number 2, like you know, this here is the last choke, after which you have open space. And as you know, taking and holding the open space is the hardest. But this ending choke here is next to their spawn, so they're going to be able to hold it for longer, obviously. And they have easier access to this high ground and this high ground than you guys do. But before this fight even starts, you guys are, before the map even changes, right? You guys have this, like, there's like a platform over here, which your team was fighting on, which easily gives you access to this and easily gives you access to this, right? So in this position that you would have established, you hold them in this choke. You basically force them to do one of 2 things, right? 1, fight you and potentially stagger because they're down supports, or chill back, regroup, which still gives your cart time to push into this here section. This section is easy to push. You already have the high ground established, so you can actually just easily get this here. And then this corner happens. Maybe they push you off this high ground, and they have control of this high ground and easier respawns, and then better cover on this side than you have on this side, right? So naturally, by holding deeper, you avoid fighting on the first 2 corners. Like I said every time, that is the point of deep hold. Back into the fight. Right, 2 dead. I want you to double dash, damage. Like I don't know why you're popping the healing, by the way. Because like you pop it here, like this. Okay, so you want to like burst her, but you're worried about it. Okay, that doesn't matter. So like right here, damage boost. Somebody's dead. Like this is nothing, right? Everybody's full HP basically. Like this bitch is gonna be full HP, right? And you don't even burst the kill, right? Like I said, right? You backing like listen to this. You backing up naturally makes your team back up. Have you played tank ever? No. Have you ever played tank? Have you ever played tank? Have you ever seen? Have you okay? Have you ever? You've seen me play tank, correct? Good. Both me and Guga, right? Why do we back up? If you've seen us play, why do we back up? Exactly. So like sustain is what makes us feel invincible in order to push. If your team feels like you're backing up and under pressure, that means they're not gonna get healed quickly enough to hold the choke. However, mm-hmm. Exactly. Look at this. You're solo healing the rogue, right? So she backs up. She's taking too much damage, but you're healing them so slowly, right? Because naturally you're gonna heal them so slowly, and they look at your positioning and they're like, okay, they can't heal me. I need to cover. Despite the fact their Luna is dead for another 5 seconds. And this guy, chat clip this motherfucker, right? This guy knows what he's doing. He's gonna hold deep because one of their supports is dead, but he isn't gonna overextend. So basically, instead of holding, so it's like what I said earlier, right? Mhm. No, I'm not. No. Listen. It is good that you didn't burst heal. They don't have enough pressure to kill your rogue. Your positioning is what makes your rogue fall back. Because A, she feels bad healing. She turns around, sees you in fucking Narnia, and she's like, well, fuck it, I gotta back up. Right? Right? Because if I am the tank, right, and I feel the healing, and I don't feel enough pressure from the enemy team, I'm not gonna back up. I'm gonna maybe use cover a little bit. I'm gonna wiggle my fucking ass on this corner. Or maybe this corner, but like this corner is bad. But like on this corner, I'm gonna wiggle my ass around here. LOS like this side, where I know Elsa is, right? LOS this side, maybe LOS this a little bit. And then I'm gonna re-engage once I know you're there. But if you're here, how the fuck are you gonna heal her there? You can't. But if you're here, or here, or here, you can heal her. Or here. Right? So like if from this positioning, when your rogue is backing up, you simply say, keep pushing, and position yourself here, she's not going to run past you. She's not going to run behind you. Right? Like, you back up this deep, and you're not healing her from here, so she can't really pressure up. She looks behind and goes, where are you? Oh, you're there. Okay, I can go back in. And then she hugs the corner, despite the fact that you had an advantage of the Luna being dead for 10 seconds. You lose this advantage, right? So if we look back at the fight, your card still hasn't pushed this first corner, right? And you're already kind of allowing them to hold this choke. You're already allowing this because of your positioning. If you stayed your ground here and poked, your rogue would have seen you there and maybe even seen your poke and fuck it, call. You do use your voice chat to just comment and say like, oh, keep going. Luna's like one support down. Keep going. I got you. Right? That's gonna just make me think. Okay, like, do you know how many times I like when I'm playing with Coffee, I'm dead and he goes, no, keep going. Even though he knows I'm gonna fucking die, because he knows he can't keep me up. He knows the res is up, for example, and he's like, keep going. I got you. I fucking die. I get res and I get my full health bar back, and we can re-engage, for example. Right? That's what like separates good rocket players from bad rocket players. A good rocket player is thinking about that. A bad rocket player is sitting there and going like chug. You know. Same thing goes for a gambit player. You just have more utility in terms of damage, right? So like if you're in this choke, you keep up your rogue. Hell, use the fucking burst heal. Doesn't fucking matter. Use the burst heal. They're down a support. They're down a support, aggressive. Like, you know for a fact they're down a support. So naturally pressure somebody. If you're here shooting at their Elsa and your rogue sees the Elsa's HP drop down, after you heal her, she's gonna kill the Elsa or pressure the Elsa. And then you basically get your card easily up to here for free. Because you're basically playing in a scenario where next 10 seconds, Luna dead, this is our choke, this is our pressure. We're winning this. Then they regroup and they're like, okay, now this is our pressure, and then they pressure you back, and then you fall back, and then your card is in this choke. And then you're playing this choke again. So you're basically playing the exact same choke the entire time by holding it early before it even happens. And it's the last choke of the map. I'm getting fucking tired. I'm getting tired. You play with Coffee? That's Nate? Yeah, Coffee's my G, bro. I love Coach Coffee. Good ult. Pressure. Anti-heal, anti-heal, anti-heal. Kill the Luna. Thank you. She doesn't die, and you like take way too long. By the way, look at this. You dash way too late. But like, look at this. Okay, this here. I want to be in here. Everybody here is anti-healed. Everybody's anti-healed here. Right? She's dead. If that anti-heal hits, by the way. She is dead. And then you pressure this guy or her. Who is... I know, because you're not looking at the map correctly. But like I said, it's fine. Like I said, that's like you just misusing. And then look, this is where you dash back out if you don't get these kills. You're like, you basically should recognize this guy's killing her in the next like 5 seconds, right? Or like delays them, right? If you recognize that, like recognize this guy can sit on them, you play for your own life, this guy dies, and then you converge on this guy. But you don't dash enough, you don't play your life enough after the fight already ends. So that's kind of what, like, let's watch this fight play out from your ultimate, which is here. From here in slow motion, and just like simply look at your decision making. Right. So like, we anti-heal this corner and keep pressuring. Luna dies. But let's say she doesn't matter. You see the Elsa jump on you. You disengage from the Elsa onto high ground. On here. You disengage on here, and then look. These two are guaranteed dead. Even if your Clagger passes out. Right? Yeah. Yeah, I did. That's why I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. Even if your Clagger dies here, both of their supports are dead, you're winning the fight for free. But from this angle, you're in open space. You're open to Bucky. You're open to Elsa, who is freely shooting you the entire time because you ignored her. Right? And then you don't really have the best angle for these supports to help them. If you just dash up here, look at this. Like, look at this. She can't really shoot you that easily. And you can kill these people. Like, this comes out a little bit late, and you reload. Another shot would have probably killed her. Yeah. Yeah, that reload dropped you to kill. And then again, ignoring the Elsa and Bucky. I think Bucky... Was Bucky also shooting at you? I think he was, for sure. Okay, this Bucky is dog shit. He misses every fucking shot. Allegedly, the Bucky was shooting at you. Officer, he had a gun. Allegedly. Doesn't matter. So, like, you lose this fight because of your poor positioning and, like, not jumping on high ground and then anti-killing him. Did you, like, and look, by the way, because of what happened there, your team is still actually pushing. You're still getting the pressure. If you kill these supports, or, like, didn't die and killed the other two DPS there, because they were out of position, you actually won the game there. And look how you're burning cooldowns here for positioning to get closer. You don't do that throughout the match, but you do it on death. So you do have the knowledge that it's actually beneficial. And they see 9. But like, okay, so like, you do realize what I'm saying though. Like if you don't misplay there, you won the game there. Because you have like 3 minutes something, 3 minutes and change of overtime. That's insanely hard to back up from. And like, let's say you remember the I think the mistake was here, right? In the earlier fight, like this mistake or something like that. That like I don't know if it's here, like earlier or whatever, right? But you made another mistake, like this ultimate, right? This ultimate and then the play there, right? If those two plays go differently, and both of those are decision making plays, not mechanical skill plays, if both of those plays go differently, you have like 5 fucking minutes of overtime, and the enemy team's mental is shot. They're FFing. You're not even getting into overtime. You see what I mean? And holy shit, this game has fucking overtime. I've been yapping for like 2 hours, bro. No, I'm yapping for 2 hours, bro. I'm tired. That's what I'm referring to. Okay, let's go back to this. Why are you in this angle instead of him with him? Think about this, right? Think about this. Open space, everybody sees you. Bunker to their side. No. Yeah, I know, but just listen. Just listen. Open space, everybody sees you. Bunker on their side. No vision of the bottom. 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 Your only option, give up high ground. Let's say we're here. They can't see me unless they flank, to which I can contest and easily go to my team, and then they're sandwich out. I can pocket him, and if I need to, I can shoot from here. If I'm here, right, this I can see this, and I can see him. From here, I can see everything, but everybody can see me. From here, unless they contest high ground, they can't do shit to me. There is also left side prominence, by the way. You know which hero is good? You know which hero is good to sit from here? Loki. Yeah, Loki's really fucking good to sit from here. Because Loki can actually pressure here, teleport back to this high ground or back to low ground. But that also requires you to hold deeper. Your team isn't built to hold deeper. They're built to like hold chokes, not built to hold spawn. You don't have a really strong off tank to hold. And look, like I said, you're giving your back to your enemy and completely segregating yourself from the team. And then this isn't like look at this. If they calm you here, these guys hit you, Psylocke hits you, you're sandwiched, and you can actually get blown up here instantly. But they don't hit you; they hit the other team. So like you're lucky. But like look at your HP. Imagine if one of those tanks hit you instead of them. You're dead. And then because of your poor positioning, we're bursting cooldowns. I love the sounds of this again, bro. Good. This is good. This is fine. You should have disengaged earlier. You took too long looking at him. You pop him here, and then turn around here because this is pressure. Can this right? It's like you bop him. He like you basically cancel out his grasp, and then you disengage here to reposition correctly. But you stand here and open way too long, and Psylocke just bursts you. By the way, all of this is because initially you held the wrong choke, you held the wrong position, so they just overwhelm you because their damage is much stronger now, and they hit your supports first, and you basically are not creating pressure because you're just consistently backing up, and you're backing up because your poor positioning, like forcing you to back up. Low key, call out. Somebody tank Gambit. I'm TPing, but that's a little bit advanced. No, I'm saying like in that scenario, you say somebody take Gambit. I am TPing because you're forced in a choke. I mean, you gotta be a little bit more progressive there. You're to support. That's more on you. You gotta be progressive there because they come like they force you in an awkward choke into a dive. Like remember what I said. This is really good for dive to pressure you. Earlier when I was describing the map. So naturally this is gonna happen, and look, they're gonna cap. Yep, they cap. Actually, no, you retake, and they retake later. I think one of your DPS must have made a good play there. Oh, your tanks just ran at their support, who is mispositioned. Yes, you did get lucky here. She mispositioned really badly. By the way, where is she? She's in between the card and thing. If she was on fucking high ground, the thingling thingy doesn't boop her. And she just jumps away back here, and then the rogue burns like 6 more fucking cooldowns to get there, and everybody lives. You're not listening. She is grounded because she's in this little choke. If she's on top of this card, she's not gonna get grounded. That is my point. That's why the thing is powerful. Like, their support misplays, so they don't get the full push. You guys get lucky. I feel like you should have. Nice, nice, good, good, perfect. That actually provided the kills. Nice. I was gonna say you should have done that earlier, but it actually worked out. Yo, Shirley. Yo, Chris, Anna. But surely we see him, and surely we shoot at him, and surely we pressure him. Do you think he's gonna kill you from this angle? With the shotgun? No. Do you think it's kind of cool to just like activate damage boost, shoot him 3 times, damage boost him? This Bucky that you tell your Bucky, yo, Punisher behind you. Bucky turns around, shoots him once, he dies. Look, Bucky does shoot him 1 time. You haven't shot him since. He's just vibing here. He just easily, casually walks out. Okay, you do realize you kind of do the same thing by just shooting him from range, right? And not using cooldowns. By the way, you use do you use anti-heal here? Sorry, let me check. Okay, you use FP, but listen, yeah, but listen, no, you don't use it here. What I'm trying to say is like the FE is good after he uses mobility to like stagger him, so you can't keep doing it because he can easily when he's looking at you, can easily shield it like you saw. Also, your right click there is unnecessary. It bursts your like useful cooldown. I know you like the sound effect. I know. I'm just saying. I'm nitpicking and being pedantic, so I gotta say it. By the way, you're in defense. You're in defense. By the way, you don't want them to pressure you into ulting early. Silo. By the way, listen. Just no. Just shut. Can you listen to the gameplay? Can you hear the gameplay? Is what I'm saying. Okay. Do you hear the Psylocke? Right. You hear the Psylocke, you do this. You hear the Psylocke, you do this. And then you go, where the fuck is you, bitch? She comes out of this cover, you poke her immediately. She backs up. See how your blade does that, and she does the same thing? You can mark her quicker without any cooldowns being used. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, because both of them hurt her. If you mark her earlier, they don't have to burst any cooldowns. So Psylocke basically for free bursted 2 cooldowns. I wouldn't want to ult this because you just get washed. Doesn't fucking no listen. It does not matter that you didn't calm your ults. Your ultimate doesn't save you from what they're doing. No. It doesn't. No. Listen to me. No, you're not listening to me. You're excusing what happened. You need to learn from the mistake, and you can't excuse it. Calming doesn't change anything there. This is exclusively your mistake. Even if you calm that you're ulting first, your invis ulting is the correct decision. You ulting is the wrong decision. How your invis ulting might be the wrong decision as well, but that's a separate issue, right? You ulting altogether is wrong. Even if that was the calm, that's a wrong calm. Right? So like that's not the problem. It's the double ult is not the problem. The problem is Gambit ulting at all. Because you do not keep anybody alive against the Punisher ult alone, let alone Punisher with a Gambit ult on top of it. That's gonna kill through Invis ult. Let alone your ult, which is piss poor in terms of survivability, in terms of like healing. So you never ult there. What you do here is you hope to fucking Jesus your Invis ults and get behind this fucking corner and kite it. The way these guys are kiting it. However, they have Gambit ults, they can just jump, and then shoot them still. But like, if you come over here, your Thingaling can jump to you. Your Blade can double dash to you from this cover. This is the cover your team needs to play because it puts the most distance between this guy and like look because look at this. If I'm the Punisher, right? Why is this like so slow? Somebody told me how to like change it. I don't remember. Like he can jump on here, and then he needs to get over here in order to like contest this corner. By that time, you guys can go through this door over here, and then peek out from this side, and then recontest here. Right? Once he's like, you basically ring around the rosy him. But like, you ulting here does nothing. Like, it literally just does nothing. There's no reason to do it. Mind you, how do you know they're going to punish ult? You press tab button on your keyboard and you look, what is the combo they have? Okay, it's Punisher Gambit. I am not fucking ulting that shit until, like, in any fucking scenario. Right? So that's how you avoid that entire scenario. Is just you go, oh, they have Punisher and Gambit. Okay, if Gambit ults, I am not fucking ulting that shit. Plus, we are on defense and they have Gambit Invis. They have one aggressive ultimate, so you're not ulting the aggressive ultimate. You're ulting the defensive one to kill through. Same way they're doing it. And they double. See, what they're doing is double ulting. What you're doing isn't double ulting. What they are doing is double ulting. What you're doing is you wasting your fucking ultimate. Yeah, and then look, because this dumbass who like made like 16 fucking mistakes so far, this dumbass, instead of just pocketing her Punisher because she has Gambit ult and like taking a proper angle because you guys are all fucking backpedaling, she wastes her fucking ultimate and Punisher still dies because he can't be inside of her ultimate because her ultimate is bad. Am I looking? Yeah, I'm looking at the correct idiot. Like this guy completely fucks up. This is a champion visible woman. These players are so dog shit. Holy fuck. Like, oh god. I'm sorry, but like, brother, like look how good and well your team and your Invis plays this fight. By the way, like, if you don't fuck up your ultimate, they literally have nothing besides a Captain America ultimate. So you literally fight a neutral fight until their Cap or Venom ults, and then you ult and you win that fight for free, and you have a better ult cycle because your Invis can build her ult quicker. And then you do lose this point. Like, look, basically, you lost the initial 2 chokes for free because of your poor position. That's fine. That happens. We all fuck up like that, right? The thing is, that basically means you can have like 2 more fights until this choke is dead. You had your first fight, which was your retake, and then your second fight is re-engaging after their Gambit ult fucks up. It doesn't actually kill everybody. And then after that, you win the fight there because you kill their DPS, so they can't pressure you. You pressure them back. Their next engages their tank ultimates and their Psylocke ultimate. So you position correctly far enough in order to use your Gambit ult to counteract that, hit early basically, right? Before the Psylocke ults you, before the Cap ults you, before the Venom ults you, you hit early, you push them back again, and then your next fight is a fight you lose. But you bought 3 minutes of time. Right? So like, you are playing to lose one of the fights because you realistically need the enemy team to fuck up really poorly or your DPS to overperform for you to do like 4 fights on 1 choke. That's like usually impossible, right? It's impossible unless it's the final choke on the map because those maps are like insanely defense oriented, right? So like, you basically play to win the 3 fights and then lose the 4th one. But you can't play to win the next fight because you have literally fucking nothing, and they just hit you with Venom and Psylocke and you lose, right? Because you don't have the ability to outspace the Psylocke and Venom ult. So basically, what you would do, right, is you would let your Invis die if they try to hit early with Venom Psylocke. You disengage, you let your Invis die, or you don't like wait for her to die. You ult your team, but you let her die to the Psylocke ultimate. Right? And then your team can re-hit because they have overwhelming amount of damage. You push them back. Your invis TPs. Whoever the fuck dies next comes back with a support on support, and then you hold for one more fight, and that's the fight you lose usually. Right, the next one because you're getting outcycled. Okay. Right, like what I just said also like drops a little bit because they're Venom Wasted Ultimate. So like they have to hit with a naked Psylocke, which you actually can Patacake. And they waste Captain America ult. Like they're wasting ultimates. See, like this is what I was saying of them like misplaying. You actually have potential for your Invis to build her ultimate quick enough for you to actually fully hold here. Because they wasted two of their like ultimates, they only have Psylocke. So if you survive Psylocke, right, when she hits. No, but I'm saying if you survive Psylocke, because keep in mind, right? You like once the Psylocke is hitting, you have your ultimate to counter and win the fight. And then you're basically playing for your Invis to build ult before their Gambit can hit. Yeah, there you go. So like what you could do here, if you had your ultimate previously, is I mean I think you can actually survive this with Patacake. I think your rogue kinda inted though. That's kind of the only issue there. Yeah, look. If your rogue didn't int, you still have your Gambit ult, which you can hold literally indefinitely until much later on to try and kill through the Punisher ult early. Yeah. Like I said, this isn't the position issue. She just didn't Patacake with you across there, so that's a misplay on her part, but it doesn't really matter. Like I said though, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The position doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But both those positions are valid. You split up so they don't hit both of you at the same time because they have dive. So just heal each other and then you can reposition afterwards because their Psylocke can't stay on top of you the entire time. She can't heal you through there, so it's fine. It doesn't really matter. You don't want to be on top of each other most of the time. You know, you want to have like some space between you. The only like value out of standing on top of each other is Patacake, but then you can still Patacake from a little bit of a distance. It's just harder for her to track. That's about it. But like on higher guild, they're gonna track you. But like I said here, like you guys could have held this point indefinitely if there weren't some mistakes. And see, your team didn't take the teleporter, so you're holding the Shug, which is good. Your positioning is fine. You need to disengage. Good disengage. Pressure her, good. You take way too long and you forget about her. That's the issue. You take through, like, look at this. This is the first moment she shoots at you. Just reposition. Like, reposition towards her to, like, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, reposition aggressive on her to kill her, or reposition defensively. Both are valid. This way, the Punisher can shoot you and she can shoot you, and you don't react to either fast enough. Because your dash alone on her with the Bucky kills her. So you guys lose this fight. And look how deep they're holding you, by the way. This is what I was saying about when you guys were in attack. They're holding you so freaking deep, and they're gonna win this fight again because they're on a better cycle because you lost 2 fights where you basically didn't get ult charge. So like I don't need to watch this because you guys just automatically lose this. There's like no way you win this fight. Yeah, Punisher Gambit, you just lose. This is good decision making. This is really good decision making. I wouldn't ult this though. This is a lost fight. Perfect. This is you playing it perfectly in the lost fight. Again, look how deep they're holding. This guy isn't. This guy's retarded. This guy, look how deep he is. Look how deep their Gambit is. Look how deep their fucking Psylocke is. So their core that can move, like their mobility core. I mean, Venom should also be part of the mobility core. Doesn't matter. He's sitting on card. He's texting his mom about the apple pie she's gonna cook him or some shit, right? But the mobility core is super deep, right? So once you start pressuring them, their card is already pushed up to this corner. Because they get aggressive poke because they have ult to cover. He can save her here easily. Okay, he doesn't because she doesn't dash, I assume? She doesn't have dashes. Yeah, she didn't have cooldowns, it's fine. But if she had cooldowns, she easily escapes that. So like you get the lucky pick on the Salaks, you can pressure them out, and then you get more fights here. This is a good aggressive ult from defense because so here's the thing, right? You do kill their Psylocke. However, what is the case is you're on a better cycle because they used Gambit to win the last fight. So you ulting aggressively here can force their invis ult, which means you have your invis ult for their Gambit ult, and then that's basically the trading cycle, right? So like this is a good ultimate because you have a 5v6 and you're pressuring to reestablish court and force a support ult. So let's see what happens. We force the support ult. By the way, you have mobility. You have all of your dashes. Go inside of the invis ult and like push up here. Because look, you easily with your like double jumps, you can jump like around here somewhere. I think, right? It doesn't really matter, but like you get in, like on top of this even by wasting one dash, so you can actually pressure, help these guys, and then pressure this or this guy or like whoever, you know. Right, then they Captain America ult, and ideally, their invis is dead. This guy is just now coming out of spawn. Your invis doesn't ult anything, ideally. But she mispositions. She goes way too deep, so she's gonna ult probably. She dies. This is actually good. She doesn't waste ult. Your rogue ult's late. Your rogue ult's way too late. I don't know if she had it though. Let me check. Yeah, so like your rogue should ult the second their Captain America ults and then grab him. Like right here, this is where your rogue ults, and they can do anything else. But she waits way too long, so their Venom gets kills here. So that's main issue here. It's your rogue. You're sitting there way too riskily, double dash out. You need to reposition. Like right here, you gotta reposition. Like Venom popped his ultimate instantly. If he waited, he could have even got you in there. You don't survive this anyway. You live for longer than you should. That's fine. They washed that fight. You guys are gonna win the next one. Is it some lucky pick? Your invis is kind of inting there. She engaged way too deep. Oh, your Bucky just gets a really good hook. Your Bucky's like the MVP of this team. Your Bucky's like the clear MVP of the team. Yeah, but I'm saying like your Bucky's the MVP of the game. His value is like the biggest. Wait, why are we not repositioning here? Why do we double clap? Just reposition. You force them. Like, see, this is scary as fuck. Like you should have healed here, or like cleansed or something, right? And then repositioned. But you clap, you double clap instead of repositioning. Like after your first clap, the first clap is relatively fine, but you can easily again take the high ground here. And then look how long it takes you to like recognize the Captain America. If you were shooting him the entire time, he dies quicker. But it's fine, it doesn't matter. He still dies. At times your camera movement is a little bit slow, yeah. You still have your invis ult for when they hit next time, so that's good. And you have their mag ult now to sustain that. And good job by their Psylocke and their team. They hit correctly. Good. Get him to spawn. Get him to spawn, let her fucking die. You need to re-hit with your invis. Re-hit invis. Ah, she hits way too late. You're gonna die there. Nice, good play. Ult yourself and them. Good. Do it! No! 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 Why didn't you do it? No, look at this! Boom! Boom! No. Like you pop you pop your ult, you pop your E, you're gonna get enough healing from your invis to survive there. She doesn't die, you don't die. They pop invisible, they have nothing after cap hold. You hold them for like fully here. You cap. Does your. Uh, you know what's sad? I think you win the game there as well. Oh, I feel bad for that. You're in triple tank now, quick ults. Which is correct, right? You guys have 1 minute, so whoever ults first wins the game. So you're good. It's fine. It gives you the quicker ult, so it matters. Like you have so much more time than them. Use like 3 cards in like a second. Them. Yeah, it's fine. You have 3 tanks. It's kind of hard for Gambit and Cloak to keep them up. If you're on Rocket, it would have been different. This is fine. They should be TPing, but I don't think they are. No! No! Yes. Works out. It works out. It's working out. No, it's working out. They panic invest. Valid. That's your win con. No, but like you know what? It doesn't fucking matter because they're invest panic ulted. If she didn't panic ult, then it would have been shit. But she panic ulted, so you still win the cycle. Because you're in triple tank, you get your ult quicker, and you're gonna win this. You got the TP, you got the cloak ult. Yeah, they have touch, they have gambit. Okay, doesn't matter though. Doesn't matter. Like I said though, that's terrible. By the way, this here, like I was saying earlier, but I forgot to say, this is the easiest position to hit from dive, because you can dive from there, you can dive from there, you can dive from main. Right? If you're in this spot, it's harder to dive. That's why I said like they can hit from this side, or main. From here, they can only hit from top. That's why this is like worse for dive, right? But you can bunker maybe easier. It doesn't matter. But like that goes back to like what I was saying earlier. It's like holding this choke is kind of better. But you guys are going deep, so now you can easily reposition on high ground and then create pressure. I just don't like that you guys are not going from top. But that's the mistake when you're rogue sport, not yours. Especially in like you have 2 off tanks to hold main. Like why the fuck is she also on main? This is stupid. This person is not playing correctly. They should be on high ground with him and you creating pressure because you have 4 minutes, which means you basically are playing regular combat. By the way, don't run away from cloak like this. Like look at this. Her heals give splash radius once they hit. Like let me see if I can show you. Right, so like she is healing you, but you like create space from her. She doesn't get the splash heal. Look at this circle. Do you see the circle? You see this faint little circle. This little circle is the circle of the AOE from her heal. So like if you are here, she's actually getting kept up easier. So, like you almost killed her there. Your tanks are trading health well on the front line. Pop the E, correct. She pops first, that's fine. You gambit ult now, and you win. Now, now, now. You're a little bit late. So you have to disengage. Your blade wins. Try and cleanse this. You don't want to try and cleanse it. I'm paying attention. You're not paying attention to the game that you played. Like, watch this. This is when you ult, so your blade wipes the backline, and then their Gambit doesn't even get a chance to ult. Right? This is when you ult. Because I think... Actually, no, you don't ult here. You don't have vision of him because of the invisible. Never mind. This is when you ult. Which you do, so it's good. And then you disengage for no reason. Right? Like, this guy is far enough. And then they're also like matching you. They don't have another DPS to like pressure you. Right? Nobody here is gonna pressure you. So like you just sit there. You can still chill on card there. He dies. He Gagamotos. 3 of your teammates are stunned. You walk up, you EE. None of them are stunned. You keep winning the fight. Good bunker usage. Not good bunker usage. You didn't cover from the Emma. Good job to re-engage here. This is the opposite of what you did earlier to make the mistake. I'm gonna ignore this. You guys just win this fight naturally. Where do you die? I think you die here. This is the opposite of this situation, right? This is the opposite of this situation, because okay, it's a little bit further back when you actually die. Like this is the opposite because you know the fight is lost. You know you're gonna die, but you give your team a chance to keep fighting him in the fight. It's like that's you doing the opposite and doing the correct. Holy shit, I'm tired from that. I was like 2 hours and 10 minutes. But like, I hope you learned something from this. I tried to make it educational. I am not looking at the second code, by the way. Fuck that shit. I'm tired. I'm tired. No, look. You know it's a mistake. You don't need VOD reviewing for it. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Go watch it and think about it, and you're gonna figure out what the mistake is. Like, I betcha you can figure out what the mistake is. And then you can tell me, oh, I figured it out. It's X, Y, and Z. And then I can look at it and I can go, yeah, it is X, Y, Z. Or I can look at it and go, no, it's not. You're a retard. But, like, those are the options. So, like, give me the options, you know? Okay. Do you have any questions after this now? No. Yes. Correct. Yeah. Good. Yeah. I mean, keep in mind, I have the benefit of the replay. I have the benefit, like, what was it called? It's like, no, it's like benefit of, this is called benefit of. It's like in retrospect. I have the benefit of retrospect, right? I go back and see what could be done. It doesn't it doesn't mean I would also make the correct choice there. By the way, it's just me analyzing what is the correct choice, and then you having that in your mind, me having that in my mind, and we can like improve on that. But like as a tank, I'm not gonna be usually playing around there, so like it's not knowledge that I'm gonna have. But like you as a support can have that knowledge, and then you can apply it to other maps as well. Like if we're looking at Kunlun or some other map, right? There's like so many different maps. Have I played on Hearts of Heaven recently? Yes. Nothing fucking matters here. Like literally nothing. I just want to look at the map. Is this your game? I guess this is my game or something like that. Yeah, it's mine. Okay, never mind. Let me go on to the first point. Never mind. Right. So like it's the similar logic of bunkering here and giving you as much time to live. Right? Similar logic on this map. You don't need it's not necessary for you to know every single little thing about every single map. It's about how you like assess the maps. This here is like okay. This here is a bunker. This here is a bunker. So you can play there. This is a high ground where you can disengage into a bunker. This here is a high ground where you can disengage into a bunker, right? So like those are spots that you as a support should be marking to like know where you can disengage. That's one thing. Next up is like similarly like before, high ground is really important. Right, like this support is playing on good high ground. The issue is disengage from this high ground is kind of rough because you kind of have to go all the way around here to bunker properly, or like go into open space to bunker. So like this is risky, but like if your team is pushed up, it's a fine bunker. And then again, main thing about this map is this high ground. It's like the most oppressive high ground in the game because you have cover on top of the high ground. You're not giving up literally anything by being on this high ground. And on Gambit, this is your high ground to hold. Like you pop one of your main tanks here and one of your main DPS here, and then you hold this with the support. It is so oppressive, right? Especially with Gambit. And then your main is controlled by your main tank, your off tank, sorry, your off DPS or your other main DPS, whatever you want to have, or your triple support, and then your other support, right? And then those two, right? The tank can hold this choke. The DPS can hold this choke, and then the support can play this far back easily, and then also provide any necessary help to top. And then when everybody backs up, you're backing up here. She can back up to this, and then you can just back up slowly to this, and not get stuck in this corner like you did last time when I was looking at you. Right, so there you go. But yeah, I think you learned what isn't. I think you learned what is important. I think you learned what is important. I'll edit this into like a video. Just cut out the middle where I was on my phone, and then you can have it so you can rewatch it back, as well, if you need it. And I'm not gonna coach you for like at least a week, by the way, if not longer. No. The reason is you need to like apply knowledge, and you got to learn more. That is why. I mean, playing is different than coaching. Yes. Yes. I don't think bro, you can bro, like what the fuck is this bikini? Like bro. Yo. Yo. Netties. Hello? Son. Oh my god. I mean buy it. Buy it if you want it. Buy both. Yeah. You're getting free coaching so you can save money. We are not complaining, Inspired. I'm just saying, damn. Like, a damn. Also, Inspired say it's fine on Caressed. I agree. Oh, okay. Okay. You're welcome. I did promise it, so I had to do it. I'm gonna cut the stream. Like I said, I'm gonna look to edit it up. It does have actually nice stuff about the map as well. I don't think I'm gonna cut that into a map specific video though. That would have to be much differently made. But yeah, you have the info there. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, no problem, no problem. Good luck with that. That sounds unfun. That's crazy. No fucking clue. I don't have cats. I don't like cats. Yeah, no. Anyway, see, I'm gonna go take a shower because this heat is insane.